Not functionaries.
Not functionaries.
Human beings first.
We raised that issue.
We raised that issue.
And I believe we were heard.
And I believe we were heard.
It remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen.
To what degree that will be possible.
To what degree that will be possible.
In the short term.
In the short term. Nice work. Nice work.
The other thing that we asked.
The other thing that we asked
is that the city require comprehensive cultural shift in the police department.
Comprehensive cultural shift within the police department. Repeat that, please.
Yeah. Comprehensive cultural shift within the police department.
Comprehensive cultural shift within the police department.
And remind them that there are resources in Oakland
that
can provide that service to the police department.
Service to the police department.
Oh, one other thing. We recognize that it's challenging for everyone to step outside of our own experience in order to create a greater sense of common unity. But we are all committed to working toward that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
What I'd like to say also is that a great deal of our conversations centered around a kind of definition of the word trust. And we made it very clear that the city has not behaved in a very trustworthy fashion. And there would be a series of steps that we would like to see them take to establish trust on going both ways. And I believe that was authentically heard. And we will not stop until it is a fact.
What were the steps? One of the steps was this issue of our political prisoners. A second step is this issue of the culture of our police department. I believe a third step is increased willingness on the part of our elected officials to listen more than they speak.
Woo! Yeah. How many people are still in custody?
So we have 12 from last night.
We have 12 from last night.
Wait, the question was how many people are
still in jail?
How many people are still in custody?
So I believe there are 12 from last night. There's Kali. There's Truth.
Momo.
Momo. And Alex.
Alex is free.
What?
Alex Katz?
No.
Different. Shit, my bad.
Yeah. Alex Brown.
Kitty cats also.
Right.
So 10 from last night.
Am I missing anyone? But Alex.
I can't do whether Twitter names. I wonder who the fuck they are.
Yeah. So 4 of them are from earlier incidents, and 10 are from last night.
12.
4 of them are from earlier incidents, and 10 are from last night.
12.
12 from last night?
12
Right.
12 from last night.
Some are out.
And who ordered this clearing of the plaza?
That's the city administrator, Deanna Santana.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that the permit had been revoked.
And what grounds was the permit revoked? On what grounds was the permit revoked?
I hope my compatriots will correct me.
Okay.
But I believe it's that the permit was perceived to be attracting
unpermitted activity.
Unpermitted activity.
The permit was attracting unpermitted activity.
That was the question of why a permit is required. Why a permit was required, was that addressed?
Yes.
Not to our satisfaction, but it was addressed.
Well,
And what did they say?
They said that the ordinance is that no installation that impedes
Public use of
access, and that the space that the tent is taking is
The umbrella.
the umbrella. The tent slash canopy slash
Walter Riley, lawyer.
the umbrella is a tent on a stick.
Like a corn dog?
That's impeding public access, that umbrella?
It's a structure. It's an installation of a structure.
They stuck with that?
Because they're believing that you should be able to move in every direction at any time that you want it, as long as you're on this plaza. So if anything's in your way,
We should be clear that some of the words expressed by the city indicated the possibility of some flexibility about interpretation of the permit.
What he said.
Yeah, that.
Some flexibility with interpretation.
We should know that we are at the beginning of a process.
That we are at the beginning of a process.
And if we stick to it,
I
I have no doubt that we will be heard and make a difference.
have no doubt that we will be heard and make a difference.
What's the next step in that process?
We are talking about a tentative next meeting, but the next step immediately is for full debriefing to all of the entities involved in Occupy Oakland.
And it's very important to say that this is not Occupy Oakland.
This is not Occupy Oakland.
This is a group that is trying to assist.
This is a group trying to assist.
Part of the community of Occupy Oakland.
We are part of the community of Occupy Oakland.
Nothing ultimately will be done
Nothing will ultimately be done
without full consensus of the GA.
without full consensus of the GA.
So the debriefing right now, and is it going to take place right now so that the priority of getting these people released happens immediately?
The release of the individuals will move forward immediately as soon as Nicola gets the names up to his camera.
Rebecca is calling to get the full list of names for you.
Police without bail?
Yes.
Because that was the demand.
Great.
Well, the question is are there any plans to put up a new interfaith tent or umbrella or canopy or something?
Yes.
we're always planning
Yeah.
to put up another.
We'll be back tomorrow at noon.
Okay.
Was there a discussion of a new permit?
Oh, no, we haven't.
No.
What's that address?
We
We
didn't.
want another problem.
The question of returning of property, we didn't talk about
Did
that.
you get to that?
What about returning of the permit?
No.
The permit.
The permit, the response to that was that they cannot deny a permit in perpetuity.
Doing a great job.
They can grant one in perpetuity and they can't deny one in perpetuity. So their challenge is you can get a 3-day permit and then build toward a weekly permit, but you need to, in order to meet their requirements, the city's ordinance requirements, you need a permit every week.
So did they make an error? Because I thought that they issued that in perpetuity. After they did the second or third day, then they said, okay, well, you got it now. That's not true?
To which?
To the teepee.
No, it was a 3-day, week, like that.
Has the issue of the U.S. Constitution as our permit, was that addressed today? In fact, we don't require a permit. Yeah, look, we don't require a permit to be out here to assert our freedom of speech or First Amendment, and so we plan on coming out here tomorrow, not without a permit.
Without a permit.
Right.
It was admitted
By
Arturo
Arturo
that no permit is needed in order for someone to come out and do public speaking in the plaza or to gather in the plaza.
24 hours a day?
Permits needed for people to talk.
It's a public plaza, so you're not able to sleep in the plaza as far as Arturo is concerned.
Not Arturo, the city.
He's interpreting the city's regulations.
What about the issue of structures, canopies, and etc.?
tables.
They need to be permitted.
His point,
Structures need to be permitted, free speech is not.
Right.
Structures are free speech.
his point was he is trying, he said, to be consistent with the permits that he's requiring for restaurants and other folks to do things in the plaza with food or with a structure.
Commercial.
Does he get a lot of requests for permits to hand out food to people?
That's
one in
the
this
big
plaza has
issue
a
with pop-out.
Never needed a permit.
But I mean, commercial versus
As
commercial
he said,
versus like
free
social
speech
services.
is not have to be permitted.
Corporations supposedly.
I just need to say that this was just the beginning. It was just less than an hour. So the focus was that we have comrades in jail who shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And we will get to everything that we need to get to. If we can get them out, I consider that we had a successful meeting today. And we can focus on it.
And the police department is out of control. Those are the two big things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.